I really wish that I was exaggerating with the title of this video, but 2020 has been such a banger for pseudoscience that this is now what we have. A doctor who believes that demon sperm is making you sick just declared a cure for COVID, and social media is taking her seriously. Just because someone believes something crazy doesn't mean that everything else they believe is wrong, but in this case, it do be like that. Anyway, I'm Dr. Wilson, this is Debunk the Funk, and let's just hop right on this crazy train and ride it to wherever it goes.
Hello, I'm Dr. Stella Immanuel. I'm a primary care physician in Houston, Texas. I actually went to medical school in West Africa, Nigeria, where I took care of malaria patients, treated them with hydroxychloroquine and stuff like that. So I'm actually used to these medications.
I don't care if you studied medicine at Harvard University or Trump University, whether you've treated one patient or 1,000, whether you've won a Nobel Prize or gotten an A+ sticker. I'm still going to fact check you, and if you're wrong, you are wrong.
For the past few months, I've taken care of over 350 patients. We've not lost one. Not a diabetic, not a somebody with high blood pressure, not somebody with asthma, not an old person. We've not lost one patient.
If that's been the case for you, then that's great. But you're about to say something real stupid.
And on top of that, I've put myself, my staff, and many doctors that I know on hydroxychloroquine for prevention, because by the very mechanism of action, it works early and as a prophylaxis.
So she's basically saying that hydroxychloroquine has prevented both her and her staff from getting infected by COVID. There is absolutely no scientific evidence to support this, but we'll get into that a little bit later. For now, let's let her just go on.
They actually had a study, and go look it up. Type hiccups and COVID. You will see it.
Hiccups and COVID? Okay. I'll look it up while she carries on.
They treated a patient that had hiccups with hydroxychloroquine, and it proved that COVID is a symptom of hiccups. It's a symptom of COVID.
Wow. Okay, so this is what she's talking about. It's not a study, it's a case report. That means that one patient came into the hospital, had hiccups, they treated him for COVID, and then 3 days later he was fine and his hiccups went away. That's it. It doesn't prove that hiccups are a side effect of COVID.
So if the NIH knows that treating the patient with hydroxychloroquine proves that hiccup is a symptom of COVID, then they definitely know that hydroxychloroquine works.
It was not an NIH study, it was a case report, and it didn't prove that hydroxychloroquine treats COVID just because a guy's hiccups went away. I mean, can you believe that rich politicians actually paid for her to come out and talk to the Supreme Court on this day? Nuts.
So if some fake science, some person sponsored by all these fake pharma companies comes and say, oh, we've done studies and they found out that it doesn't work, I can tell you categorically it's fake science.
Wow, we've made it. We've actually evolved from fake news to fake science. Yeah, I don't think that the scientific community, which is basically just an international community of hyper-competitive, underpaid nerds, is lying to you just because this woman says they are.
Because there is no way I can treat 350 patients and counting, and nobody is dead, and they all did better, and then you're going to tell me that you treated 20 people, 40 people, and it didn't work.
No, I'm going to tell you that there have been thousands of patients studied in multiple small clinical trials and a few big clinical trials trying to figure out whether or not hydroxychloroquine is actually going to save people's lives. And the best evidence we have is that it doesn't seem to do a whole lot. It just doesn't seem to be very effective. It's certainly not a cure.
This virus has a cure. It is called hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and Zithromax. I know people want to talk about mask. Hello? You don't need mask. There is a cure. I know they don't want to open schools. No, you don't need people to be locked down. There is prevention and there is a cure.
It is not a cure. We were really hoping that hydroxychloroquine would do better, but it just hasn't. Other medicines have done better than it, in fact. So we just don't have a cure on our hands, no matter how many times she's going to say it.
And let me tell you something. All you fake doctors out there that tell me, oh yeah, I want a double-blinded studies. I just tell you, quit sounding like a computer, double-blinded. I don't know whether your chips are malfunctioning, but I'm a real doctor.
Chips are malfunctioning? I thought we weren't supposed to get our chips until we get the COVID-19 vaccine, right? I mean, really, the fact that this doctor doesn't care about double-blind studies tells you everything you need to know about her. She doesn't care about science, and she only cares about the 350 or so patients that she's treated. She only cares about her experience because she thinks that represents all of the COVID cases in existence, which is just insanity. It's the definition of missing the forest for one tree.
All of you doctors that are waiting for data, if 6 months down the line you actually found out that this data shows that this medication works, how about your patients that have died? You want a double-blinded study where people are dying? It's unethical.
No, what's unethical is telling people that COVID-19 is cured when it's not. And that's not how medicine works. We aren't just sitting around waiting for more studies to see whether or not hydroxychloroquine is effective against COVID. No, we've done the studies. We've looked at it. We've tried using it in the clinics. It's not a cure. We might find later down the line that it's more helpful than we think it is now, but it's not a cure. We know that much. Anyway, if this doctor didn't seem bonkers enough, here's a clip of her from 7 years ago.
Most people believe that the spirit husband and the spirit wife, the incubus and succubus, they are the same spirit. They turn into a woman, then they sleep with a man and collect his sperm. Then they turn into a man and then they sleep with another woman and deposit the sperm and reproduce more of themselves. Because of the way they are, they can, angels cannot reproduce. You understand what I'm saying? So they can use human beings to reproduce more Nephilims. And people will be like, nah, that's not possible. How can a spirit sleep with a human being and produce a child? That's not possible. Really? How was Jesus born?
And to think that a lot of people on social media are saying that this woman is speaking the truth and that they are hiding it from us. Oh boy. It's okay. Maybe, this will be a learning experience. People will find out how not credible and just how overall wrong she is, and they'll learn to maybe do some fact-checking a little bit better next time. I'll just hope for that. Yeah, I think I'm going to hop off this crazy train for today and just try to forget that this ever happened. This has been Debunk the Funk. I'm Dr. Wilson. If you like this video, maybe subscribe and join me next week where I'll be debunking some more funky stuff. But not as funky as today. This is just weird. See you then.